Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Woodland. This is the 8th session of Rootless, a game of might, right, and arson. My name is Colin Ott. I will be your Woodland Whisperer, aka your GM, for the evening. Let's meet our voracious vagabonds. Thelonious.
Hi, my name is Michael, and I'm playing Thelonious. Thelonious is from the Ronin playbook. My animal fact is that chimpanzees did not evolve from human beings, nor the vice versa.
Hi, I am Megan. I play Cal, the Deer Tinkerer. You can find me at Megan O'Cappy on my socials of TikTok and Instagram, etc., etc. My animal fact today is that in extreme situations, crocodiles can go up to 3 years without food.
Hello, my name is Reggie. I play our little musical otter Sanvi. You can find me on Instagram doing artsy things as well as TikTok at Runny Quiche. My animal fact is more of a mystery. Did you know that we are not certain how eels reproduce? It's a mystery.
My name is Emily. I play Red, who is the Red Squirrel Scoundrel. And my animal fact is a short little animal story that for 2 nights last week, I caught one of our neighborhood cats just chilling on the sofa on our front porch on my security cam. It was adorable.
Hi, I'm Lou. I play Rebecca the Spy, and my animal fact is that archaeologists and scientists have discovered a fossilized invertebrate similar to a giant tiger prawn that is so well preserved. We have the soft tissue of its brain and brainstem and some of its central nervous system. And it is giving us so much more information on how invertebrates evolved into vertebrates. And that fossil is more Than million years old.
Wow, that is truly epic. And also very terrifying. My animal fact today is that there is a squid larger than the giant squid called the Colossus squid, I believe is what it's called. And there has never actually been any recorded footage of the Colossus squid. We only know of their existence. So in sticking with the mystery theme for animal facts today, we'll go with that one. Thank you, TikTok. Okay.
I think I just found a new religion.
Yes, the religion of the Colossus squid.
How
hell.
how do we know it exists if we don't have any I assume by recorded footage you just mean video. We've got pictures or carcasses.
I mean,
I think carcasses. I think parts of it have washed up on beaches.
Like a beak or something like that, maybe.
So I've heard.
What if it showed up on a beach with a bite taken out of it? That would imply there's something.
So I've heard that
I don't like the ocean.
Neither do I. I hate it. I've heard that some of the evidence has been found via whales. So they've had recorded footage of whales that have lacerations on their bodies that are larger than any octopi that we've ever recorded could make. And they've also found tentacles actually stuck to and attached to some whales because whales hunt naturally. They hunt and eat the octopi. So it would make sense that they're probably hunting the Colossus as well and then getting some tentacles stuck to them on the way. So there you go.
That's wild.
I kind of wish that the cold opening of today's episode was just us all going, "All hail the squid!
All hail the mighty squid!" We'll edit it back. We'll run this back to the front. Yeah.
Today, did you know? Animal fact: Cthulhu is real.
We all hail him.
All hail!
No.
Yes! Yes!
Yes. All right. Last we left off, we saw the downstairs group of Cal, Sanvi, and Thelonious beginning to make their way back up through general dentistry. They ended up plugging one of the pipes that was pouring purple smoke out of it and temporarily stopped the flow of gas within general dentistry. We also watched as Castus Chirp and his merry band of badgers badger nap Duncan in the middle of combat. There were also some party members that saw Castus's true form flicker for a moment. Thelonious found a note from Avery Wimsworth that described some of the marquee goings on. And then the group met Thimble the Meerkat, who ended up assisting Red in finding Z Monmouth. And eventually, everybody made it onto the roof of General Dentistry. Thelonious and Cal looked into a conference room on the roof, and while they did not find any individuals within, they did find a note that read, "Where all we join in fuss and muss, a place we deign is dangerous, to prove one's wit and never flee, for this is our conspiracy. Goodbye." And then finally, everyone ended up taking zip lines from the roof to get to the focal point of the secret lab, where the Vagabonds are now face to face with Dr. Weemsbury, Chunk, and 2 cybernetic arm cannons that are mounted to the ceiling. They would appear very similar to the ones that the mechanized cat was using. And then there's one mystery that still remains, which is, where in the heck is Ephraim in all this? So I will let you guys think about that as we jump in here. But just to set the scene again, you have Dr. Dexter Weemsbury running around, muttering to himself, fixing different gadgets and saying, "Science is dead. Yes, I must fix it. I must fix it." He has a bunch of like IVs and different, medical devices that are pumping that purple gas into his body directly. Then again, you have the 2 robotic arms that are on the ceiling, Chunk in the very middle with his gauntlets, and then you see a number of different clockwork and electrical components that are spread across 2 different large tables. And as you enter, you see that Chunk is holding onto a remote, which is, it seems like is controlling the flow of that purple liquid to Dr. Dexter Weemsbury. So that is where we will open tonight.
Well, Red, you passed every test. I guarantee you won't pass this one. I have a question before we begin. Did you really think that you could beat us? The whole Marquesia? Do you know what you're stepping into here?
I don't have to beat the whole Marquise yet. I just need to beat you. What are you doing to Dr. Weemsbury?
Oh, nothing he wouldn't do to himself under different circumstances. The man is, well, for all intent and purposes, crazy. So I was just leading him to a place that I thought he might be going regardless. I thought it might be best to put him to some use, but seems you have other plans for Dr. Dexter. And now I know that you don't want to fight the whole Marquesia, and you may think that if you beat me, you just get to walk out of here. Oh, Red, so naive, so childish. It'll make it that much more satisfying when I put you in your place.
And as he says that, he presses a button on that remote that he's holding. And you see Dr. Dexter's like whole body just kind of like gyrates and moves. And he goes over to one of his devices and starts pressing buttons on it. And when he finishes pressing those buttons, a mechanical ladybug pops up and starts fluttering right where he is. And so I will let you guys have the first action in combat here, as we typically do in the initiative order, but I imagine you guys are looking to tussle here.
Has he initiated combat?
He has not initiated combat with you guys yet. He simply is having a conversation, so if you guys would like to initiate combat, you are more than welcome to. I will give you the first step as per the rules I wrote out for initiative for the game. But if you guys want to take a bead, that's all you.
Yeah, I think seeing him pushing those buttons, I'll say, I guess when he goes to do that. Wait, Chunk, you said putting me in my place. What did you have in mind? What are you talking about?
Oh, well, I thought, given the way that you exited, and given the things you have done to my perfect little town here in Windgap, I think it would only be fitting for you to join the good doctor back in your lab. I think it would make you happy again to work with a close friend. Doesn't that sound good? Doesn't that sound like your rightful place?
I don't know about all of these IVs and juices that you've hooked up to Dr. Weemspley. If I came willingly, would you have to do this?
Oh, Red, we're done with willingly.
So, I kind of want to move, or while I'm having this conversation, I think the other folks have things they would want to do.
Yeah, go for it. Anybody else have things you're doing as Red is kind of having this conversation with Chunk here?
So I'm hoping that as we kind of entered and all this was happening, I could find some partial cover to fuck about on my own, do my own little thing. You let me know if there's anything that I might have been able to. Obviously, I'm not hiding because he saw us all, but maybe his attention is more on Red and not really what I'm kind of doing behind, I don't know, a desk or whatever might be in the room.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there's tons of different like clockwork contraptions and mechanized equipment and stuff. It's not particularly organized, so plenty of stuff to hide behind if you want to make a roll with finesse.
A roll with finesse.
A roll with finesse.
All right. So roll, and what is this roll for, to see if I'm...
See if you can get some stealthy. See if you can sneak away.
Not good. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
5, 6. Red, as you're having this conversation with Chunk, you see Thelonious is like trying to tiptoe across the corner and clanks his ankle on one of the mechanized clockwork parts, makes too much noise, and unfortunately not going to be enough to get you out of the eyesight of Chunk. Anyone else?
I would like to ready my trick bow. I'm not doing anything with it. I have the idea to... I don't know which would be a better target. I think I will wait until something happens to decide, but I'm going to either try and knock the remote out of Chunk's hand, or I'm aiming to kind of fire around some corners to hit the ladybug from behind.
Are you doing that now, or you're holding off to...
I'm readying the bow to do that.
Perfect.
If I see any kind of threat appear from either one, I will unleash the arrow.
Perfect. Cal, Sanvi, what are you guys up to?
Can I, when I see Rebecca take out her trick bow, can I also ready my own bow? And I'll just kind of like go over to her very slowly and just kind of whisper, "Hey, what do you think we should go for? I think I'm going to go for the ladybug. Is there anything else that you see that you want to go for?"
And the bug could be some sort of weapon, so it's important to get that neutralized first. But as long as Chunk's holding that remote, we've got no chance of getting Weemspley out of here. If you go for the bug, I've got the remote.
Okay, we'll go on your signal, just in case anything gets pretty bad.
Oh, it's gonna. Cal, what are you up to?
Could Cal kind of you said that there were desks and loads of devices on them. Could Cal just kind of quietly shuffle towards them and just look over and see if there's anything she can use against them or figure out how it works?
Yeah. Are you trying to be stealthy as you do that? Are you trying to pull some similar shenanigans to Thelonious?
Similar shenanigans? Like, she's not like being obvious about the fact that she's just staring at everything, and now she's just kind of like looking like out the corner of her eye, like that, you know.
Yeah, give me a roll of
just...
cunning.
Okay. Do I have cunning? Huh? Wait. Oh,
I think cunning is your main, yeah.
Oh! It's not awful. 7?
7. Yeah, you see like several different devices that have electrical currents running through them that seem like if you connected some of those devices together might make for almost like a are you guys familiar with like a bola? B-O-L-A, bola. It's like a thing you throw to trip people typically, but you can use that to do like an electric shock trip or some component of that that nature. But that's what it looks like to you on a 7.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So as Chunk is conversing with Red here, he does notice that Rebecca pulls out her bow. He can see everybody is starting to move to a combat portion. And so he will look pointedly at Red and say,
Well, if you and your friends are ready, I think it's time to put you in your place.
And he is going to start moving forward. You can see that both of the cannons that are mounted on the ceiling begin to turn at all of you guys, and I need everybody to give me a roll with finesse here.
Oh boy. Rolling with finesse.
Rolling with finesse.
It's another 7.
Nice. Anybody else?
7.
I got a dirty 12.
Nice.
I have a 6.
Anyone that rolled lower than a 7, you will suffer 1 injury here. So that is Sanvi and Thelonious. Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys watch as the 2 cannons that are up top begin to rotate and whir, and similar to what you saw with the mechanized cat, there are some different like gemstones in those machines that are allowing them to fire at you, and you can see that there appear to be a few different chambers in those guns as they rotate. So it's clear that this may not be the only thing that's going to come out of these guns as they are hitting you. But for now, you guys just suffer an injury. Chunk is beginning to move forward here to Red. And Dr. Dexter Weemsley is still just hardcore going to the science mode, trying to push buttons. The ladybug is going to start fluttering. I know that people had reactions here, so I will just let you guys go ahead and take your actions. And let's just go ahead and start with Rebecca, because I know you had something prepped.
I have one of my roguish feats is trick shot, so I can roll with finesse rather than luck, which means I have a 10, I think. Yeah, a 10 to hit.
And can you read trick shot for me? Is it an attempt to like disarm somebody? I think we've used trick shot maybe one time. I think Thelonious used it.
Yeah, so I've used it before. Trick shot is to create some sort of distraction, use the surroundings to alter the path of the arrow. In other words, some sort of fancy stunt rather than an outright attack. To disarm someone or knock something off of its place. And on a 10, I can damage whatever I hit, I think.
So I have it written out here. It has specific conditions, and on a 7+ you get to choose one of them, and on a 10+ you get to choose 2 of the condition effects.
And what are the condition effects? Because I don't have them pulled up. I apologize.
Shot lands in any target of your choice in range, even if behind, cover, or hidden. Inflict injury or wear if appropriate. Shot strikes second target of your choice. Shot cuts, breaks, or knocks something of your choice. Right? Shot distracts an opponent and provides an opportunity. Right? So there's 4 different things that the shot can do, and on a 10+ you can choose 2 of those 4.
Yeah, so I'm choosing to knock off or out of its place the remote. I'm choosing to knock it out of his hand, and I'm choosing to cause 1 wear to it.
Perfect.
I have in the book I think it says you can choose 3 on a 10+.
Oh, you know what? You're correct. That's me saying it wrong. On a hit, it's choose 2, and on a 10+ it's choose 3. You're correct.
Yeah, so you get 3.
Well, you're more prepared than me.
You're both more prepared than me, so. Okay, so
I guess as a third one, can I distract Chunk with it?
Yeah, absolutely. I will say that anybody who makes a combat move at Chunk will have a +1 for until Rebecca's next turn, till the top. Let's move to Red now.
Did
Awesome.
something.
Awesome move. Yeah, you see the remote go flying out of Chunk's hand. You see that it is clearly damaged. And as that happens, you can see Dr. Dexter Weemsley kind of like takes a sigh of relief, but the flow of purple gas is still pumping into his veins. He just doesn't seem as controlled by, those mechanized processes. Let's jump to Red now. Red, what are you doing?
So, which way did the remote fly off in? Is it towards where Dexter is, or?
Yeah, it is towards Dr. Dexter. So to set the scene a bit more, Chunk's kind of in the middle of the room. Dr. Dexter is on like the right-hand side by the tables. And then the cannons are mounted, let's say, just like in the middle part of the ceiling. But the remote has flown off and it is maybe 5 feet from where Dr. Dexter is standing.
Okay, then I'm gonna try to run past Chunk to get over to Dr. Weemsley and the remote.
Yeah, give me a roll with either finesse or might here. Or I guess you could use luck as well, given that some of your scoundrel abilities. And do you have your danger mask on?
I do have my danger mask on. I also have a luck armor, what's it called? Daredevil ability. You're at your luckiest when you go into danger without hesitation. If you dive into a dangerous situation without forethought or planning, treat yourself as having luck armor. Would you allow that to be in play here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I'm gonna roll with luck. That is an 8.
Perfect. Yeah. You manage to duck and dodge as Chunk is distracted by the shot and the remote flying off. He does get a glance at you as you sort of do like one of those cool, like, when you slide on like the hood of a car, you do that, but like underneath his grasp, and you pop right back up next to Dr. Dexter Weemsley. What else would you like to do?
I would want to grab that remote and try to see if I can disconnect Dr. Weemsley from the IVs or tethers or whatever he's got going on.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll with cunning here, and let's see what you see.
It's a 7 minus 1, 6.
A 6. You are looking at the like chains that he has, the IVs that he has plugged into him. You're looking at the remote. It looks like some foreign language to you, even with your knowledge of some of the clockwork mechanics and some of the things that happen here in the lab. This doesn't seem to be anything that would be accustomed to your forte. Okay, let's move to Sanvi here now. Sanvi, I know you had some things ready as well.
Yes. Whenever I see Rudbeckia take the shot at the remote and see it go flying off, can I also take the shot at the ladybug that's floating around?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a roll of finesse.
9.
9, beautiful. Yeah, you guys watch as Sanvi draws her hand crossbow, and the bolt plinks right into the middle partition of the ladybug, and you can see like electricity starts sparking up and throughout it, and then it just goes and just falls straight down to the table.
Nice.
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to do with your turn, Sanvi?
No. I'll put away my bow and just kind of have my recorder on the ready.
Perfect. Let's move to Thelonious. Theo, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm taking advantage of that opportunity that Rebecca had made, and I'm doing what I meant to do that first time around. So I'm grabbing those rubber gloves that I had collected earlier from last session, and I'm one by one, so one glove, I'm grabbing one of those vials, and I'm going to try to fashion a water balloon between the glove and the vial of anxiety gas.
Yeah, give me a roll with either cunning or finesse here.
Motherfucker, 5, 6, 7.
Hey, a 7 still does it. Yeah, so you are, and you also get an additional +1 from this because of Lou's distraction, or excuse me, because of Rebecca's distraction.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys watch as Theo pulls out these like rubber gloves, shoves the vial of purple liquid in it and whips it at Chunk. As it hits him, you see purple mist and purple smoke start crawling up into his face. Theo, give me a roll with luck here as well.
Do I get a +1? No, because I just undistracted him, right?
I will say no, because this isn't, it's not necessarily a movement. This is like Chunk's, you're rolling for Chunk's,
yeah, I've got a -1 to luck, and that does not make it.
What'd you get?
I got a 6, and I have a -1, so that lands me on a 5.
At a 5, so you see the purple gas start to crawl around Chunk. He looks pointedly at you, Theo, and you can see a fear in his eyes. And then he sort of shakes it off and goes, "Using my own tricks against me, just like your mother." And let's move to Cal here.
Okay. No, wait, right, hang on. Whilst this interaction with Chunk and Thelonious is happening, because I'm imagining Thelonious is kind of like the one side of the room and then Cal is the other.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. But I want to use a species move.
Ooh.
And mark an exhaustion. Basically, just it specifies sprint at speeds beyond nearly all of the species. But there is also a take 12 plus to attempt the roguish feat of acrobatics or trust fate when acting to jump or leap. I'm not sure which one this would classify as, but I basically want Cal, in a moment of brave and stupid panic, to take a running start towards Chunk and then try and kick her legs out in front of her to try and pretty much just deck him, so he has to like kick his knees out from behind him, basically.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I don't think you even have to roll, right? You get to take 12 on the acrobatics.
Yeah, if I mark an exhaustion, which I would like to do.
Yeah, so definitely mark the exhaustion. I got it for you on the tracker here. You guys watch as the normally shy Cal just full-on sprints headlong at Chunk, dives at him, doesn't necessarily injure him, but completely tackles him to the ground. You can see that Cal and Chunk are now both prone on the floor, sort of like rolling somersault over somersault towards each other. Pretty impressive stuff, Cal.
Yeah, then she when she has them, they're both on the floor. If he looks at her, she's literally just going to be like, "Oh, that actually worked. Okay, great, shit." Just try scrambling away.
Perfect. Oh, amazing. Okay, I think that is all of the player side. So everybody give me a roll with finesse here as those guns that are mounted to the ceiling begin to whir up again.
Do Z and Bam Bam do anything?
No, Z and Bam Bam are both outside of this door. They are in the secret lab, but not in this room. Z is far too injured to be doing literally anything. He's on the precipice of death. And Bam Bam is not skilled in this type of fighting. So they're both just
get a heal before we started.
He did, yeah. That was
okay, fair enough.
That was essentially to get him to consciousness.
All right. So we are rolling against the guns, which means the remote is not to the guns.
Correct.
Ness?
6 in
Finesse.
total?
Got
I
9.
have a
I rolled a
10.
3.
Made a 9 this time.
Oh.
Okay. Anybody that rolled less than a 7, you are going to suffer a -1 might for the rest of combat. You guys watch as, similar to what you saw when Theo took the shot from the mechanized cat, and you watch as like his blood pooled into it. You see that same thing happening to who rolled less than a 7? Just Bex. So you guys watch as the blood starts to pull from Rebecca, and you will have a -1 for the rest of the combat.
That's all right. I don't use might at all.
Fair enough.
On topic, I was going to ask, but since we're on the topic anyway, I did have that -1 till the end of the scene. Are we still in that scene?
I will say,
Yeah.
yeah. So that one was a much more powerful version of this. So that is like that will last for like the whole day, essentially.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was wanted to know whether or not I was accounting for that or not.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, and then Dr. Dexter Weemsby is going to take his turn. He is not controlled by the remote right now, but he is still controlled by the gas. So he begins to fidget and work on some other projects within the room, almost seemingly as if he doesn't realize that you guys are there. But he doesn't press any buttons. He doesn't make any other objects start to spring up and do anything. Chunk has been knocked on his ass, had the remote removed from him, and is definitely more than a little pissed off. And so he is going to slam his gauntlet down into the first person that he sees, which at this moment is going to be Cal. So Cal, I need you to give me a roll with might.
Oop. I think I'm like one box away from unconsciousness as well. With might, 7.
A 7.
Again.
No,
It's a popular number today. I rolled a 3 and a 3, a 4 and a 3, and I've rolled a 2 and a 5.
You guys watch as Cal narrowly dodges the majority of the gauntlet from Chunk, but a partial knuckle comes down and crushes just enough of her shoulder. And I believe you're going to mark 1 exhaustion. I think that knocks you out.
Yep, it does. Oops.
Yeah. So you guys watch as Cal makes this epic dive, knocks into Chunk. Chunk immediately stands up, just sticks one fist straight down into her shoulder. You see Cal just completely goes limp. And then he stands up, very, very pissed off, and looks at Red. I told you I would put you in your place. And it is the party's turn. So let's jump back in here with Lou, or excuse me, with Rebecca. I'm going to keep doing it.
We had a plan, bitch. We had a plan.
Cal doesn't follow plans.
My original plan was
not
the
Cal.
balloon, apparently, and then it was gone. So what was I going to do?
Colin, you're the bitch.
You're not wrong.
It's all laid out.
Cal
Yeah,
really thought she did
we
something.
followed like 80% of it. That was
And we
very,
still
very
fucked up.
good.
It was a
No,
good first
that
round.
was-
That was a very good first round for what could have happened for you guys. I think that was,
Yeah, I think 80% of any plan being
Yeah.
followed is a success.
Yeah, that's what I
That's a
said.
huge success.
especially
Yeah.
in D&D. Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, Rebecca.
Anyway, Rebecca, the only person you've tried to make any meaningful communication with has just passed out. I need better friends. In her mind, she's just like, fuck, ooh, not working. And she's gonna, this is the second time I've done this to this poor squirrel. She's gonna bite his tail. She's not got much left in her, she's got no sort of thought process left. He's punched one friend into unconsciousness. He's now threatened another for the second time. So she's like, right, you fucker, how about I remind you what happened last time? And just clamps down on his ass.
Yeah,
That
absolutely. Give me a roll with might.
With the -1, that's a 5.
Yeah, it's not going to do it. You go to bite Chunk's tail. He immediately whips around, gets his gauntlet up right in front of your mouth, and you bite down on the metallic portion of his gauntlet. And you can feel your teeth aching, but you do not make any purchase on...
That's completely valid.
No purchase on the squirrel. Okay, let's go to Red.
I'm gonna keep pace with Dr. Weemsplate and pull out my dagger and start trying to cut him free.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a roll with finesse.
7.
Beautiful. Yeah. You manage to cut a multitude of the cords that are connecting to Dr. Weemsblade. As you do that, the purple gas seems to almost suck back up into the IVs. It doesn't seem like it's pouring out in any capacity. And you can see that the good doctor is starting to regain his bearings, but is still under the influence of the purple gas, at least to some degree. But he's more or less now muttering to himself, "Science is no, it's not dead. Wait, is it?
No.
Red?
Yes, Dr. Weasley. We gotta go. Science is okay, and there's more science outside. So let's go outside. Let's get out here. Get out of here.
Science is all around us, Red.
But there's more for you to do. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to listen to Chunk anymore. Come on.
Chunk is fine. Red, where am I?
What have they done to you? Oh.
He goes back to tinkering with the things and begins to ignore you again. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn? Yeah. More science.
You just try luring him out.
There's science outside.
Science, come on, Weasley, go on.
I tried.
I love it.
Gosh. Oh gosh, what else?
You won't come outside, not even for a science snack?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything else I can do with my turn. I'm too sad about what's become of my dear teacher.
Oh my goodness. That was incredible. Let's move to Sanvi here next. Sanvi, what would you like to be doing?
Blue is broken.
Absolutely killed me.
There's science outside.
I'm 100% making this a skit at the earliest opportunity.
Please.
Dear God. Okay, Sanvi is gonna yell over to Philo when she sees Cal go down. Philo, run and grab Cal. Everybody cover your ears. And she's gonna lift her recorder up to her lips and play that loud, mechanical, busting note and pray to God that everybody...
I run and I just put my whole kind of body over her sound spaces.
Yeah, Sanvi, give me a roll with charm here.
That's a 10.
Oh, heck yes. On a 10, you all hear this note, and I'm going to have Theo here actually give me a roll with luck as well.
So that's a... Oh, wait, that's an 8 with a -1 for 7. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, so Thelonious, you do hear like this high-pitched ringing noise, even covering your ears. It seems that whatever note this is does affect cats more prevalently than any other species, as we saw with the Marquis guards. Yes, but as that note is played, you guys watch as the circuitry on one of the two mounted Gatling guns there starts to sort of fry and electrify itself, and you can see that the gun drops. So one of those two has been dismantled. Let's move now to Thelonious.
Okay, so I'm on top of Cal, which is right at Chunk's feet.
Correct.
And Chunk is standing.
Chunk is standing now, yes.
All right, so I'm basically doing the same thing that I did before, but I want to this time do what I should have done last time and use it as an improvised weapon.
Ooh, I love that.
Right, so I'm improvising a weapon out of just the jar, because I don't have time to make a balloon out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you read me the verbiage?
What I'm going to do is basically I'm coming off a Cal, and I'm like Street Fighter, jar in face, with all intention for jar to smash in face, and hoping that my head is back enough, far enough to like protect myself. The way this mechanic works is that you, Colin, decide the range and the tag. And on a 7 through 9, there's a weakness tag. On a 10 plus, there's no weakness tag, which I will let you be the master of.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me that roll.
Pretty easy with this particular item.
Yeah.
And I'm rolling with cunning on this.
Cool.
And Cal is knocked out, unable to do a assist, right?
No help actions from Cal at this moment.
5, 6, 7. That's a 7 plus 2 for 9. Did
7
not
plus-
get a 10.
Still pretty
Did
good
not
though.
get a 10.
So you are able to get this jab like straight onto Chunk's face.
So what I'm doing is I'm using the vial to smash the vial into his face.
Yep,
Yes?
yep, absolutely, yeah. So the purple gas immediately erupts all around his face. And you can look at Chunk, and now he is starting to mutter to himself, "No, I have to be in charge, or the whole thing will go down. I have to be in charge." And he's just like muttering to himself. Give me a roll with luck for yourself, as some of that gas is now pouring back. We'll say that's the weakness for having less than 10 there.
Oh shit! That's a
Oh,
7 for a -1. That's 6.
Oh, it's so rough. We will come to that in a moment here, as you get some of that purple gas on yourself. So we will jump here with the enemy combat phase starting. Everybody give me a roll with finesse here as well. There is still one cannon firing on you guys. Did anyone roll less than a 5 in total?
Yes, I rolled snake eyes, which gives me a 4.
Oof, big yikes.
No, I rolled a 10.
Oh, nice.
I got a 10 also.
Awesome. Sanvi, Cal? Or Cal, you don't have to give me a roll.
I got a 4.
A 4. Okay, so Theo and Sanvi, let me roll my little random dice. You guys are going to suffer a -1 might again.
So I'm -2 might at this point, yes?
Correct. Yep. Okay. Dr. Dexter Weemsbury is going to take out one of the electrical cords from the device that he's working on, and now that he has significantly less of the psychosis gas coursing through him, he's going to take that and start trying to whip it on the back of him to try and destroy some of the other IVs that are still left there. Let me roll for the good doctor. You watch as he grabs this electrical cord and starts whipping it on the back. It ends up just giving him a bunch of burn marks across his shoulders, and he isn't able to snap any of the IVs that are currently pumping that gas into him. Yeah, pass.
I don't want to derail this horrifying Dr. Weemsbury moment, but Philo had just sprayed himself with the fear toxin in the face.
Yeah, we'll probably get back to that when my turn comes back.
Yeah,
Sorry, I thought we put a pin in it to come back to that immediately.
No, we'll come back to that on
Tell me to shut up.
the subsequent round here. No, you're totally good. That is exactly where we left off. But yeah, we're going to leave that as a little bit of a cliffhanger here just for the round. Yes, so you see Dr. Weemsbury starting to try and free himself from those IVs. He is unable to do so. And then Chunk looks at you, Thelonious. You are standing right in front of him. And he looks at you and says, "I have to be in charge. Do you know how I can be in charge?" And then he turns around and starts walking towards one of the tables and starts just with his gauntlets punching the clockwork objects in trying to show a display of superiority. And he's like, "I'm in charge. I'm in charge. I'm in charge." And he just keeps slamming the table. He is clearly highly affected by the glass that you smashed into his face. So that is the enemy combat there. Let's jump back in here with Rebecca. What would you like to be doing?
Good question. Watching Chunk just go absolutely batshit brings her a lot of joy. She's gonna try and see if she can help Cal if there's any sort of obvious injuries that she can stop bleeding, or she's not very medically gifted, but she's good at letting people not die and slapping them awake. So I guess try something, wing it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can mark 2 depletion to heal an exhaustion from Cal if you'd like to do so.
Brilliant, yes. So Rebecca sort of ruffles around in a bag. And she's like, come on, where is it? Aha! And she brings out some smelling salts and a little bit of gauze, and she just sees where she can sort of pat at the scratches whilst with one hand whilst waving the smelling salts under Cal's nose with the other. It's like, come on. None of us are big enough to carry you out of here.
Oh, what is that smell? Becky?
Hi, yeah.
Is it over? It's not over. Is it? Oh.
No, but we need. Come on. We've got some other people outside. You can go wait with them, or you can, just stay here if you don't feel like moving. But you may be in the way of a crazed squirrel.
Oh. Yeah. No. Let's move.
Okay, come on. Come on, buddy. And she's just like, Rebecca is kind of like half trying to drag her whilst at the same time putting her like arm over her shoulder. It's like,
I feel like it's a very Bambi moment on the ice, and Cal's just
you
trying
are quite
to, like,
looking at sort of Bambi and Thumper. Like Rebecca's like trying to push all of her legs into place. It's like, okay, try and take a few steps, and like she wobbles again. It's like, no, legs under.
I'm trying.
Yeah, the 2 of you manage to get yourselves back up. Cal, you wake up to the smelling salts and this absolutely chaotic scene, but the 2 of you are able to hobble away to a safe distance. Let's move to Red here. Red, what are you up to?
I would like to help Dr. Weemsley get the stuff off his back while also saying to him like, okay, we've got to go, Doctor, we've got to go. Maybe there's stuff in my lab we could use to get this stuff off, but let's head toward the exit. Let's go.
Give me a roll with charm.
That's gonna be 6.
A 6. Even on a 6, you can see that the doctor is starting to regain his cognizance, and he kind of looks at you questioningly, but says, "Yes, sure. I'll make my way there. Will you be behind me?"
Yeah, I'll be right behind you.
Good. Okay. Could you cut these from me? I'm having these deep visions that science has been killed, and I'm having visceral reactions. I will move to your lab, but please quickly hurry. I am afraid, Red.
Yeah, it's okay. Science isn't dead. It's still working as far as I know. But yeah, I'll try to get this off your back.
He doesn't say anything more to you, but embraces you and gives you a big warm hug, if you'll allow it. And then he will begin to meander outside of the room as the IVs that are still connected to him start to pull at the walls, and you can see that they're stretched almost to their length as he is starting to exit the room there. But it does seem like he is much more cognizant, recognizing who you are. He is still very confused and very scared, but is aware that there are friends now in the room and that maybe science isn't dead. So he is making his way outside. Let's move now to Sanvi. Sanvi, what would you like to be doing?
Sanvi is gonna watch Rebecca and Cal hobble their way to safety, and can she use her little otter agility skills to quickly get to Red?
Yeah,
and the
absolutely.
Doctor?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So she's gonna make her way over there. Hey, Red, is this the doctor that you've been talking about?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
can I do?
This is Dr. Weemsley. I'm trying to get him disconnected from everything. Maybe there's still some IVs to cut.
Okay, here,
yeah.
let me check. Can I also mark 2 depletion and check my pockets for something sharp?
Yeah, you don't even need to. You have a dagger on you if you want to start cutting at those.
Yeah, let me slash up those. Let me slash up those IVs.
Hell yeah.
Let's
Give
get
me a
them out of
roll.
here.
Yeah, give me a roll with either might or finesse.
I will do finesse.
Let's get the good doctor out of here.
6.
On a 6, and Red, if you want to take the help action, you are welcome to do so. It will still cost you an exhaustion. But on a 6, you aren't going to be able to cut through the IVs. If Red assists you, then you would be able to cut through them.
Yeah, I'll take the help action. Mark exhaustion and take the help action.
Awesome. You guys watch as Sanvi begins to pull her dagger out and start cutting the IVs. She's not getting all the way through them. And Red sort of like straightens them out and tautens them in the places where she's cutting so that they can be loosened. And you watch the good doctor have all of his IVs stripped from him. He turns one last time to Red and says, I'll meet you in your lab. Yes. And then he begins to exit the room. He is like in a fugue state, like not recognizing the combat that's going on, not recognizing the situation, but is happy to be out of it, and is moving outside of the door. Awesome. Thelonious, let's move to you.
So the mechanic here is full immersion, yes?
Yeah, I'd honestly love to hear your idea.
Here we go. Yep. Because I knew this risk was coming.
We talked about this.
Okay. So essentially, I came down, I landed. This is a cerebral horror, right? All you see is me landing on all fours, sort of like in a tense, prepped position, and just staring 1 foot in front of me through the floor. Everything is pitch black, and I know where I'm home. But it's wrong. It's silence. And amidst the silence, there's just smash. There's no pattern to it, not a certain distance away. It's kind of all over the place. There's something wrong. And so I'm moving. I'm trying to find out what the hell is going on. And it's like that weird dream move where like you can't move by moving, you move by willing, right? And so you get stuck on the fact that you can't move your body. It's like, why am I not outside? I'm outside now, right? And I'm in my camp. It's black, but I know my space. I know where I am, right? And there's one light in one of the caravans, and there's smash here, and something's wrong. And I go and I'm in the caravan, and there's just one little candle, and there's a tail waving with an apron. I'm looking at its back. And then the head spins around all the way as a mechanic. Soup? And that's where I am right now.
And for the rest of you, you guys are watching as Thelonious is on all fours, like wandering around this room, crashing into tables. He has the absolute facial expression of somebody who is scared shitless. He is not in a good place. So that will be Thelonious's turn at the moment. And I will have you give me a roll with luck. Please remind me at the beginning of next turn. But let's move to Cal here now. Cal, you have just been awoken by your good friend Rebecca. You guys are sort of pulling away. Dr. Weemsley has exited the room, but you do still have one of the Gatling guns and Chunk, who is smashing a table at this current moment. What would you like to do?
Can I just quick clarify out of all this and stuff and that? When we first encountered the gas and then we were going through all the different things, didn't we find another vial of a different solution?
Yes, Rebecca has 2 vials of a yellow fluid.
Did we ever substantiate what they did?
No.
Rebecca has a theory based off of what she witnessed happen to Duncan
Yes.
when he was injected with it. I don't know if Red also saw it because we were mid-combat.
Rebecca and Red would both have seen that yellow fluid injected into Duncan and would both have seen his eye change momentarily and then come back. But I don't think Cal would have that knowledge at this moment.
No. That's what I'm thinking. So no, I imagine what was it as like Rebecca is kind of like guiding Cal kind of away. Still fully aware that there's another gun turret that has yet to be dismantled. I suppose they'll probably try and Cal at least will scramble kind of for the cover by underneath a table, but with the gun in sight, and then she's gonna kind of just try and start analyzing it and planning how she can dismantle it safely.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a roll with cunning.
Ooh, 9.
Oh, beautiful.
Wait, no, I can't do maths. 10.
Even better. Yes, so you are looking at that device, and you're thinking to yourself, if there was a strong enough electrical current attached to that device, it would probably short circuit it in the same way that the high-pitched noise from Sanvi's recorder was able to disable it. What else would you like to do?
I'm just thinking because I grabbed the devices earlier that Cal was nosing at earlier, and you mentioned they could be a buller. So I'm thinking Cal's gonna look at Rebecca and then just nod towards the gun turret and just say, "Look, I am terrible at throwing things. If you could throw it, because we both know what happened last time. I'm really sorry about that, but if you aim for that with this, that should stop it."
I honestly don't remember what happened last time. It wasn't very long ago, but it felt like a while. A lot of stuff has happened. But yeah, sure. I mean, it's throwing things long distance has sort of become my specialty.
You mean you don't remember me accidentally electrocuting you with it? No, never mind.
Oh, yeah, forget about that part.
Rebecca genuinely does not remember this. She's been through a lot.
That's good. Throw it. Now.
Consider it shock therapy. Amazing. Yes. So Cal, you hand over the electrical bolas to Rebecca. That is going to be the turn for this particular segment. Everybody go ahead and give me a roll with finesse, and please let me know if you get less than a 5.
Finesse, rolling with finesse. 11.
I also got 11.
That laugh.
Yes! High 5 with the screen.
I got a 5.
High 5 with the screen. Type 10 with the screen.
Sanvi?
I got a 12.
Red's on the
Jesus.
threshold.
No enthusiasm, right?
I got 12.
I got
I wanted to get hit,
I'm
but
maxed
I
out.
didn't.
I wanted to
Casually.
be a part of the 11 party. I wanted to...
Sanvi, you get a -1 for this roll. You have an 11.
Yeah.
Beautiful, yes. You guys watch as the gun opens fire and does not find purchase with any of you guys. The good doctor is maneuvered outside of the room at this point, but Chunk now turns around and sort of steals his resolve and looks at Thelonious, who is now on all fours and kind of moving about himself. He will look at you, Theo, and go, easy pickings. Just how I like 'em. And he's going to bring his gauntlet down on you. Go ahead and give me a roll with might here. And I believe you are already at a -2.
Yes, but I have a +2.
Straight
So
roll.
it's a wash?
Yeah.
I just don't get my bonuses. Let me just double check that that's true.
I think it is.
Can we
Yeah.
shout words of encouragement?
Yeah?
Watch out, Thelo. You got this.
Theo rolls 2 6s and I'll kick your ass.
That's a 7.
A 7. Yeah, you are, even in your fever dream state, you feel like a pressure on you, but it doesn't feel like too much. You do suffer one injury here, but you do not suffer any exhaustion. So you do feel like a pang of hurt as the gauntlet does find its way into one of your legs. It begins to crush that knee. But for all intent and purposes, Thelonious is still in his own world. And that is all the enemies. That's it on the enemy side. So let's jump back into Rebecca.
So she's gonna do as Cal requested and throw this. I don't even know what it is, but Cal handed it me, so it'll probably go boom. So
Absolutely.
it's getting chucked at the giant gun.
I don't know if it'll go boom. It might go bzzz, but that's about it.
If Cal hands it to you, chances are it's going to do something.
If it dismantles it, it might make a boom eventually.
So with finesse,
Yeah.
12, dirty 12.
Oh my goodness, you guys and your dirty 12s today. Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't have virgin 12s.
Fair enough.
click, boom. Click, boom. click, boom.
Click, click, buzz.
And on the click, click, buzz moment, you guys watch as Rebecca hurls the contraption that Cal was able to configure earlier, and it does wrap itself around the gun there, and essentially just... there is a small explosion as that gun blows up, but it is fully dismantled.
I would like to continue by turn by using my movement, and I will use the final point of hold I have from parkour several sessions ago to reach Chunk without being hit by the explosion.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I can cross a battlefield unhindered, is
So-
the official wording.
So you're going to Chunk, correct?
Yeah, I'm going with the hopes of separating his body from Thelo's body with my body. There's too many uses of the word body.
No, it's,
You know
it's
what I mean.
Perfect. Yeah. Yes, you are able to step in between Chunk and Thelonious in this moment. But let's move to Red. Red, what would you like to do?
I say to Sanvi, it looks like Dr. Weems' place headed out. I think we should all follow him. But I'm gonna help Thelo, or at least try to distract Chunk, and head over to Chunk and Thelo, and I guess seeing that Rebecca is right there, I'll just say, Chunk, leave him alone. It's me you want. Just let everybody else go. We already took out your ceiling guns. You've kind of lost control here.
I don't lose control, Red. I am control. You think that you're my target here? You don't know how many targets I have. You don't know what I'm doing. Fuck. I'm in control, goddammit.
And that is what he says to you.
May I have a free action to say something back, please?
Yeah, sure.
Sweetheart, you're convincing no one, least of all yourself. Back the fuck off.
He just gets one of those like anime when it's like the 4 little L's that are like on your forehead. Yeah,
The little temple like
Yeah,
throb.
yeah. He just gets that when you say it, but he doesn't react to it. Red, what else would you like to do?
Finish him.
Yeah, I
Finish him.
actually would. Well, if you're not gonna let up, I guess you have this coming, and I'll take out my dagger and try to stab him.
Oh shit! Give me a roll with. Can you use luck with the danger mask, or do you have to use might here?
I think it's +1 to all scoundrel playbook moves, so that doesn't apply, and all what's the
Roguish
other
feats.
thing? Yeah, so I don't think that applies because this would be engage in melee.
Yeah, so I think this is
I have
just
to-
straight might.
Yeah. Agreed. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a 12. And I have a +0, so that's a 12.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chunk!
Yeah. You see,
Oh,
Chunk says
God.
like
I need to be in control.
As he's saying that, Red like darts forward and just quickly just jabs her dagger into his stomach a few times. He is bleeding profusely, guys. Like you can see he is buckling at the knees, like just in a world of hurt. As we will move to Sanvi here. Awesome roll, Red.
That was awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good pick.
When Red leaves to go confront Chunk, Zombie's going to run over to Philo and put both of her hands or paws on his shoulders and just kind of emulate what Duncan did for her to him and just kind of like push her forehead against his and just kind of tell him firmly while squeezing his shoulders, Philo, we need you here, Philo. Come back to us. We need you here. Philo, come back.
Give me a roll with charm. It's so beautiful.
I just got a 9.
A nine is more than enough. Thilo, you are awoken by Sanvi's touch. I will let you guys roleplay that however you see fit, but that does work. And Thelonious, you are out of your fugue state.
Right. So as I come out, right, my eyes just go big. My brain's just kind of like not quite organized, and I just start scratching and clawing in like woke anxiety.
Sanvi, what do you do?
Son of a bitch, Thilo, stop clawing. And she's just gonna hang on to his shoulders and just kind of like twist her head this way and that to dodge his claws. Stop it! Come on, we need you here. Stop doing this.
Fuck, that was weird. What's happening?
She glances over her shoulder, sees Red pull those awesome stabs into Chunk. Chunk got out of his stupor, and it looks like Red's given him a pretty good hurting, but everyone else is headed outside.
People are going. Chunk's awake?
Yes, he's awake.
I directly start looking for Chunk. Do I spot him?
Yeah, as you awake, you do see Chunk maybe 10 feet from where you are, and we will move to Thelonious in the combat. Great move, Sanvi, getting Theo back on before his turn. Yeah, you don't need a luck roll here. You don't need anything. You're up.
Yeah, no, I spot him, and what is he doing?
He is currently bleeding the fuck out. He has taken a very dangerous string of dagger stabs from Red, and it is clear that he is on his last legs at the moment.
I'm not going to stop you, Thilo. Whatever you need to do.
Finish him.
That's going to be the episode title.
Yeah. So kind of launch off of Sanvi a little bit. Whatever's got ground, whatever's got hoist, and I charge in for Vicious Strike with my. Is there a reason to go between my dagger and the sword that I have?
I think they both deal 1 injury. It's just the range that you deal them at.
And Vicious Strike is intimate, so
Correct.
I'm going with dagger.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
That's a might roll, correct?
Oh, Vicious Strike, probably.
I think so.
I didn't roll at all. Yeah, so it is a might roll with exhaustion. Let me make sure that I have it. So if I've got 1 open box, that doesn't knock me out. I have to go past that box to knock out, right?
Correct. So this would bring you to the brink.
This is the last of my vigor.
Yep.
Right. And so yeah, I launch and I am charging. And I'm trying to make those 10 feet just dagger out, nothing subtle about it. And it's a might roll. And so I'm trying to get up there, and I am done with conversation.
Yeah, give me a roll with might.
I do not find purchase. That is a 5.
On a 5, no, you do not find purchase. You sprint up to him, but coming out of your stupor, you sort of saunter up and stab the dagger into thin air as Chunk doesn't even, he doesn't even dodge. You are just off balance, and in the back of your head, you hear a voice that says, Ilya's gone. And you would recognize that voice as Neo. Let's move now to Cal. Cal, what would you like to be doing?
So both guns are dismantled. Philo is trying to attack Chunk. Zombie and Rebecca and everyone else is heading out?
They're all still there within range. They have not had the time to move out as of yet. So everyone's still in the room.
I feel like Cal will kind of just like duck out from her cover under the table, immediately look at the desk, and then just, I imagine like with her toolbox and her like backpack and stuff like that, she's literally just gonna try and just like scrape with her arm everything off the desk into her bag, like, I'll look at it later, stuff now, just taking whatever she can.
Amazing. Give me a roll with cunning.
Free shit.
We stand a thrifty queen.
Flash
I
sale.
love thrift. So what am I rolling for, sorry?
Cunning.
Cunning! Okay, 7 again for the 5th time.
Yeah, on a 7, you were able to get, I'll say, 2 different little gizmos that you and I can discuss, post this conversation, what those do. But also you find 2 different little gizmos and gadgets that might be applicable at a later date for some things that you might want to invent. So we'll say that for now, if that works for you.
The rest be like little nuts and bolts and wires?
Yeah, little nuts and bolts and wires. Yeah, sure.
Yay!
She's asking for shrapnel for a pipe bomb.
Oh, she's gonna absolutely. Cal makes everything into a bomb. It doesn't matter what I give her. It's gonna be a bomb at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yes. You industry. You do find. You do find a number of different gadgets that may be usable in the future. Now we will go to the top of the order, which is Chunk. Chunk is absolutely on his last legs here, but he is going to saunter up to Red as best he can, and he is going to put his gauntlet in front of your face and attempt to rip your mask off.
No.
Yeah, he is gonna rip your mask off and try and just absolutely crush it in his gauntlets. Give me a roll with either finesse or might.
Okie dokie. With finesse, that is an 8.
An 8. You find that Chunk does grab a hold of the mask, but you are able to pull yourself back just a half step before he can get the full grasp on the mask. You will still mark 1 exhaustion here, but he does not get a grip on it. Okay. He looks over to Thelonious and says, "Do you find yourself a strong cat, don't you?"
Strong?
Yeah, your mother always.
Everybody's strong. I'm too far away, so I don't touch him.
He just continues.
I push him with my eyes.
He continues to gaze at you and says, "Your mother would always describe you as strong, at least strong-willed. I take it you've fallen in with this bunch for one reason or another, but I thought it might be a poignant last-ditch effort to garner your favor in this time. It's clear that I don't have control. It's clear I've been beaten. But if you take my side, here and now, for your mother, maybe we can resolve things. What do you think?"
What did you do to her?
Thelonious, I didn't do anything. Your mother was she was part of the Marquis before I was part of the Marquis. Stronger than I'll ever be. But she's a good woman. I hope you get to meet her someday.
And that's his turn. And we will go to Rebecca here.
Let's all process that for a little. Sorry, that was a bit of a shock.
That's all he says. He's the only one.
Why are you flirting with this dude's mom? Okay, Rebecca hears that he said, like, it's clear that I've lost. She takes that as her cue that the battle is over. She doesn't want to kill people. That's icky and slightly more immoral than she's comfortable with. So she's gonna try and trip him up to give everyone time to leave. Just like sticks her foot out and tries to swipe him.
Yeah, give me a roll with finesse.
That's an 11.
Amazing. Yeah, you trip Trunk up. It's almost as if he isn't trying to stay on his feet at this point. His resolve has been pretty much destroyed at this point. And so you trip him and you feel his legs just immediately buckle. He falls on his ass. And he is now prone.
Why do I feel sorry for this guy? Okay, never mind. Everybody out. Let's leave before we all die.
Okay, let's move to Red. Red, what would you like to do?
Start heading for the exit, and once everybody's out, I want to slam the door.
Yeah. Sanvi, Cal, Theo, what are you guys doing? Are you guys also exiting?
Yes, I am.
Cal?
I still picture Cal as she's scrambling, just trying to just blindly swipe more and more stuff into her bag, just like, coming, 2 seconds.
Becky just starts dragging her by the tunic. Wait, this could be useful.
I will say you have gotten all of the useful items that would be in the room at this point, as Rebecca is sort of dragging you by the collar outside.
None of it is making it into the bag. She's just scooping stuff onto the floor.
Beautiful. Yes. So it looks like everybody has exited the room here with the exception of Thelonious and Chunk. Chunk is laying prone on the ground.
Did you just say you rolled a 3?
No, I said I can think of 3 items worth exploring.
Okay.
So Chunk is on the ground here. Thelonious, you are the only one still in the room with Chunk. Chunk is laying on the ground, just looking up at the ceiling. He is not making any attempt to make it back to his feet. He is literally just laying there, stone-faced, staring up at the ceiling. What would you like to do?
I'm pretty worn out myself. The difference in our balance is that I'm standing.
Yeah. You're both full up on all
sit on
tracks.
His chest with my dagger right there. Right there in our conversation. You've made no friends today. Why shouldn't I finish you?
I can't give you any good reason. I've done wrong in my world. Done wrong to your mother. It's only right that you should finish it.
And he will grab the dagger and like pull it closer to his neck. He hasn't cut it yet, but you can see a bead of blood starting to form and pour out of his neck.
Go ahead, boy. It's what you came for, isn't it? Redemption, revenge. Go ahead. Take it.
You want relief
I want justice.
I want to know
He will pull the knife.
who is the left paw.
He'll pull the knife back a little bit from his throat and just say to you,
We've got a lot to learn. Why are you so hell-bent on knowing where your mother went? Can't you just be independent?
I do with my independence what I do.
Do you mean what you want?
I'm sorry.
That was the panic in your eyes, Michael. Just like, I do what I
Finish the
do.
sentence.
The facial expression was what got me. It was,
It's just the fear of God himself. Just like, oh
I
no.
said what I said.
I said somehow I have fucked up.
oh my god, that was so
Who
fucking
is the
good.
left paw?
Where's it going?
What is its
The left paw is third in command to the Marquisiate as a whole, the entire regime. Your mother worked her way up from nothing. Those beads that you see on our marquee technologies, that was her idea. A calling card, if you will, to let people know that that technology was, well, it was from her. She sits high within the Marquisiate. Lamande Descartes herself has had many a conversation with your mother in terms of what the Marquis might do next. However, it has come to our attention that Ilya,
And you can see when he says her name, there's like a pang of grief across his face.
has either been kidnapped or has left on her own volition, which I am liable to believe, given every conversation that the two of us have had. She's not happy with the Marquis, with what we're doing. That being said, I can tell you won't find her in Underleaf. I can tell you might find her with the Eyrie. And that's all I'll tell you.
And as he says that, he pulls the knife as hard as he can to his throat. You see his eyes roll back into his head. And he is gone.
So I'm still gasping myself.
Yeah, you are like, if you're a UFC fan,
Yeah.
you're in like full
Yeah.
mount on top of his body.
Yeah. I mean, I'm genuinely thinking, I don't know that I could have done that if that's what I wanted to do. And honestly, I wasn't really trying to go further than the threat.
Gives you some
I think it's the
perspective.
first time that I ever witnessed somebody willing themselves to the end.
I think it may give you some perspective as to Chunk's character, what his goals were, and what his psyche might have looked like, as someone who was confronted with a number of challenges to overcome and had consistently overcome them in the past, but unfortunately on this day, unable to do so, and perhaps knowing his own fate due to his failures, chose the knife.
What we do with our independence. Take my dagger back, clean it, and holster it.
Do you check the body? Do you move around the room? What are you up to?
Yeah, no, I'm contemplating. I'm contemplating this enemy of mine and the humanity in his absence. And I'm still angry. And I'm struggling with that. But also fuck him. And so I'm looking at that gauntlet. Is this gauntlet an equipment that is holstered, or is it attached like we've seen before?
No, it is like something that he holds onto, right? When Red had shot his gauntlet away from him, you notice there was no hand in that gauntlet. So it is its own item.
Is he wearing it now, or did that happen today?
Nope, he is wearing it. Yep, he is both.
So I remove it and I take it.
Yeah. You take both of the gauntlets off of Chunk's hands. You can see that his based on the way that his squirrel body is, his hands are significantly smaller than what would suggest for the rest of his body. It's clear that those gauntlets were probably some sort of tool to help him feel better about himself in some way. Yeah, he has little baby hands. But you are able to pick up those gauntlets.
Okay. Everybody else has left the room.
Everybody else has left the room. It's just you and Chunk in there.
The room is quiet.
Yep. There's maybe a slight mechanical whirring from some of the gadgets that are in the room,
Receive no immediate threats.
There's nothing else in there. It's just silence.
Stand up and I look around. And I look to the control room. What do I see? Because when things were happening, I was existential.
It appears that Dr. Dexter Weemsley has left the room. No other,
But I'm looking specifically at the condition of the control panels of what that is.
Yeah, so things look like they are more or less intact. You guys didn't really destroy any of the paneling that was there. You can see that the two Gatling guns on the ceiling are completely dismantled. There's a dismantled ladybug laying on one of the tables. But other than that, everything appears to be intact.
And then I look up at the guns and I assess that in the same way.
Yeah, they both appear to be out of commission. It looks like whatever gems or power outlets those had used has been cut off, and they are no longer usable.
So I want to, I have time in the risk factor measure of this, and there's two things that I want to do. I want to destroy those control panels. And when we came in, we all noticed that those guns had turbines that I personally recognize. And so I want to find a more efficient way of destroying those panels than taking something heavy and bashing them, if that's around, because if it's not, then I'm going to be bashing them. And I also, separately as the other goal, want to get up there and obtain those turbines one way or another. So
yeah.
I guess I'm looking around the room for things that are going to aid me in those two tasks.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't even need a roll to smash the control panels. You just absolutely start jamming your dagger into them, just destroying everything that would have been here as a scientific experiment. Give me a roll with cunning as you're trying to pull the turbines out of the guns up on the top of the ceiling. They are...
No minuses to cunning today.
That's a good.
Fuck me, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
On a 6, you look at the turbines. It appears that all of the gems that would have powered them are currently electrocuted or dismantled by, some way or another. Doesn't look like anything is usable there.
Spent fuse.
Yeah, spent fuse. So let's
I've
jump.
I've accomplished, and I go to find the group.
Yeah, you would find, and we will jump to everybody else who is sort of ambling over to the old laboratory, which Red you would recognize as your laboratory. You see that the good doctor is already in there. He is working on science experiments. He is not lost a beat in the middle of all of this, and is currently working on something and sort of muttering to himself, "Science isn't dead. It's alive and well, and I can I can I can utilize it. Science is here. Science is outside. Science is everywhere. Yes, yes, yes." And he's just like very, very excitedly going over different projects within that laboratory. It's clear that whether it be through nostalgia or through his love of science, he is just having a fucking ball. What would any of the rest of you like to be doing? You are in an older laboratory. It seems significantly less modified and modernized compared to the room you were just in with Chunk. But there do appear to be a good bit of clockwork, gadgets and gizmos. And there is a significant amount of charring in this room. There's a significant amount of burning on the walls, all that good stuff. But there is still some usable objects. So what would you guys like to be doing in this moment? You can see that the doctor is running around, yes, doing science.
Can we check on the hedgehog? Make sure he didn't die while we were in there.
Yeah, no, Z and Bam Bam are just standing with their backs against the wall, waiting for you guys to give them the signal that things are done.
Okay, I don't think we want to. No, Red, we got your hedgehog friend, and we got your chipmunk friend. Now I think we might have to find our badger friend.
Oh. Yeah, that's right. Ah. Yeah, I have no idea where to start.
Did you guys see Duncan at any point?
Savi is gonna stomp over to Red and grab her by the collar and lift her up a little bit. Shake her. Where is Duncan?
I don't think you're gonna believe this, Sanvi, but Castus Trip stole him, I think.
What?
He came into the room on the back of another badger, picked up Duncan, and burst through the wall with we lost Duncan. I'm sorry.
She's gonna.
Well, we didn't so much lose him as he was stolen. It's not our fault.
I feel like it might be my fault a little bit.
Where's Duncan now?
No idea.
With Castus. But we just don't know where Castus is. Also,
Savi's...
This doesn't sound friendly.
Ephraim's still somewhere.
Not here.
I got
Ephraim's
these
not here.
though,
Duncan's
and
not here.
she pulls out the two yellow vials. I'm gonna keep these just in case we need them. I don't think you're gonna like what they do.
But what do they do?
We were fighting the wolves, and they were dressed as dentists. It was very on theme. And they stabbed Duncan with it, and one of his eyes turned frother like Ephraim, and then he passed out, and that's when Castor stole him. So I think I have frother serum now. That's cool.
Or not.
Well, you never know when it might come in handy.
Duncan is my best friend, and you're telling me that Castus Trip stole him and he might be like halfway frother, and
No, he's not.
We don't even know where he
not.
is?
He's like, Rebecca kind of like shit, I've said too much. She's like, puts her hand, like, no, he's not Harfrother. His eye went back to normal. He's fine. And
Okay.
Castus is probably taking him back to wherever he came from.
What do you mean you went back to normal?
His eye went back to normal.
I'm chewing my claws at this point.
His eye went a little funny, and then it went back to normal. And then Castus is probably taking him somewhere to reunite him with these other badgers. So we just need to find the other badgers. And it's okay now because Red has Z and also this guy pointing to Dr. Weemsley and whatever he's doing.
Yes,
And,
yes.
I think he's stuck. And Bam Bam can talk to him now if she wants to. And we destroyed the Marquis stronghold. This is a success story.
I want
Ish.
some
Turn to
soup.
Sanvi. What the fuck do you make of this? This is your friend.
Zombie, did Duncan ever say anything about maybe anybody who was after him or being wanted or on the run?
He mentioned a name. Aurora? But I don't know. That's just kind of something that he said every once in a while in his sleep.
Oh boy.
Huh. That might have
Doesn't-
something to do with it.
The
doesn't-
Duncan I knew back then was very capable and strong and a lot less friendly. And I think he's going to be just fine holding his own. We're going to show up and he's going to complain that we took too long and the soup's gone cold.
Sanvi, does this sound like he is being reunited with his friends? To you?
I'm honestly really worried about his safety.
Yeah, he doesn't really like where he came from.
Right. He doesn't talk about where he came from much at all. It's hard to get any sort of like background history. And if some random badger from his past or someone that he knew came and badger napped him to take him back where he comes from and he doesn't even talk about it, I'm really worried, guys.
Colin,
Yep.
do I remember or have I made up a memory of Castus transforming into some sort of younger badger?
Yes, I believe you were the only person to have seen it, and I can't remember if Red saw it or not, but I know,
So
I think one of the two of you did see it.
'Cause
Yes,
he winked at me and said that he was back with his own kind or something. And
Yes.
he de-aged.
yes. So you saw for a flicker of a moment Castus go from an old man to a younger badger. Maybe not like, super young, but like in his, early 30s kind of badger, as opposed to Castus, who appears to be like,
Super young.
yeah, in his late, 60s.
Okay.
Hey, I'm
Rebecca
almost
is
in my
not-
30s. Let me have it.
Rebecca is not going to say any of that out loud, but she remembers it. But she does not want to scare Sanvi anymore. She feels actually knowing this, and part of the reason she doesn't want to say anything is because she doesn't want to make everyone worried even more. But the secret part of her that she's not admitting to herself is there is jealousy. Duncan kind of, they had a very brief period of time where they kind of jobs coincided and they got along, but then they split. but Sanvi stuck around and became a lot more meaningful, and it kind of hurt back when they all met to see that Duncan had a friend, because she didn't think that was possible. And it wasn't that he didn't pick her, it's that he couldn't be friends with anyone, but it was that he just didn't pick her for a friend. So she's not so like so she remembers this moment of Castus, and she thinks, oh, this is something that's not relevant, it's not going to change where we find him, but also I know something that Sanvi doesn't.
Wow, I really like that from an RP perspective. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you hold that to yourself. At this moment, Bam Bam does walk into the group and says, I know I've been
Useless.
skittish, dear. I don't know you. You were another deer. I thought we were friends. What the hell?
We're
Well,
friends.
You stopped being helpful for quite a lot of it. I mean, we pretty much chaperoned you the whole way here. And you've done what?
I got you the handkerchiefs. That was the deal. I get you the handkerchiefs. I garner favor for that group, and I get to come with you. I will be fully transparent. I never expected things to go. And she looks down and is like heavily distraught. This way. I do need a moment with the doctor, though, if it's still okay with the group.
Yeah, I mean, he's right here. Of course. You know, everyone can talk to him.
He's
Alone.
making a face. Thelonious just kind of looks and obviously acknowledges Rebecca's non-verbal face.
Sure.
She doesn't have a non-verbal face. There really isn't one. Her job is secret keeping. Her face does
Stone
nothing.
face.
I feel like when what was
She's
it?
only
Red's like
okay at the
inviting.
job.
I feel like when Red's inviting everyone to speak to Dr. Weemsley and like quite enthusiastically, Cal's kind of just gonna like glare now her eyes at Weemsley and then just go to Sanvi, kind of just like move closer to Sanvi to kind of show a silent, like a kind of body language show of support that she's, you know, still thinking of Sanvi's situation and all this and trying to kind of reassure her with a presence.
Bam Bam, with all of the social grace of a smuggler, looks at the two of you trying to cozy up, looks at everybody else and goes, alone? If I could speak to the doctor alone?
Well, I mean, I was his assistant. Anything you have to say to him, you can say to me. Right?
Fine. Could I have a moment with Red and the doctor?
Guys, I'm sure it'll be fine. Just you can just wait outside and, I don't know, Bam Bam did mean to help us. That should count for something, right?
And Bam Bam will, as you say that, offer her sling and her dagger up to you guys as like a, hey, this is not a violent conference. I just need to talk to these two people.
Rebecca takes them and gives her a hug. Is like, I knew we were friends.
She actually hugs you for once, and it's like,
Oh, that's so adorable. She doesn't ever do that. She never does this, guys.
and it's like a half a second longer than you would expect. It's clear that whatever she's gone through today has been very trying. She is looking for some comfort somewhere, and you are a familiar face and a familiar warmth. So she does hug you for a moment, and then after that embrace, does everyone else exit the room?
So,
Yeah, Cal will kind of just like rub her head where like it had been hit with a chunk's knuckle before, and she'll kind of just take the earliest opportunity to be alone by just like being the first to leave, so she can look through whatever's in the toolbox and the bags.
Amazing. I love classic Cal, honestly. Everybody else, are you guys all exiting? Sorry, Theo.
Yeah, no, that's me trying not to interrupt. So as Red is talking, I'm just dead staring Red direct in the eye, and catching some eye contact. Basically, my communication is I don't fucking trust you. but I have nothing left. And so I exit.
Okay. Bam Bam will look at the doctor and say, Doctor, are you cognizant? Yes, yes. What is it? I'm working on an important experiment. This is critical for science. Yes, I understand that. I just wanted to see if perhaps I could obtain the blueprints from you, if you've got a moment. Yes, which ones? The clockwork pistol would be most sufficient. And you will see the good doctor hand it over to Bam Bam. And then Bam Bam will look and say, Do you know who this is for? No, but if it's in the pursuit of science, then for sure it is in good hands, yes? And Bam Bam will look pointedly at her, or excuse me, Bam Bam will look pointedly at him, and then will look pointedly at Red and say, This is for the sovereignty of squirrels. Do you know them? No, no, no. No, not in the slightest. And he will go back to tinkering with whatever he is working with. And Bam Bam will look at you, Red, and say, The reason I thought my employer might be interested in your goings-on, Miss Whiskertail. Your parents have been financiers of the sovereignty of squirrels for quite some time, and while we were aware of your talents, we were unsure of your designation. And so I am happy to make an introduction if that would please you, but if you would like to stay apart from it altogether, I am okay there as well. Your mother and father have been the head bankers for the sovereignty for a number of years. Are you aware of that?
I always thought they worked for the Marquise.
Yes, that's the guys that they were going with.
Oh, I'm a squirrel and I've never heard of the sovereignty of squirrels. Like, what?
That makes sense. They're a clandestine organization, particularly hell-bent on gathering relics from the woodland. I was skeptical of your badger friend, as the keepers in Iron tend to be a thorn in our side when it comes to the sovereignty. There have been, and you can see like very clear fear in her eyes, many dealings between the keepers and the sovereignty. In fact, I recognize your friend from a past engagement.
Wait, with the fire and the... Oh.
Your friend...
Oh.
Well, let's not get into it at this moment, but just know that if you would like, I can set up some time for you to meet with some of the leaders of the sovereignty, if that would be pleasing to you.
I'll have to think about that, but what are you planning to do with those blueprints? That's my pistol.
Yes, and effective, as I have seen. We think that it may be beneficial for these documents to be in the hands of the sovereignty if they are to compete with the Keepers in Iron and other factions that are in the area. We believe that will be a natural asset to the group. Does that make sense?
Do you have someone who's capable of improving on these designs?
We have many people, Red. Or do you prefer Rose?
Red's fine.
Fair enough. Yes, we do.
I mean, I guess I've seen what those Keepers in Iron can do with all their fancy gadgets and gear. Maybe it is time to level the playing field so that no one faction gets too strong to damage the woodland. Just try to keep me updated on any improvements. I'd like to. I mean, obviously this clockwork pistol is important to me, so I'd like to know what's going on with it, if at all possible.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think it would be relevant to introduce you to some of the people within the sovereignty, but if you're not comfortable at this moment, then I think this may be where we part ways.
How can I contact you after I've had a chance to think about it?
I'll find you.
Of course, of course.
If you're really looking to meet with those people, you can contact your parents. If you tell them the things that you know, the things that I've told you today, they can make that introduction as well. So if I don't find you before you want to be found, reach out to them. You're already here in Windgap. They're here in Windgap. Just make sure to keep their cover continuous.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Well, I have what I came for, and I would like to thank you. There's not much I can do outside of making introductions, but I hope we meet again. Red.
Well, don't mention it, especially to the others.
I won't. I'll be on my way. And she gives you like a warm pat on the back as she sort of exits the room, takes an extra second to linger, and then she moves out. The rest of you that are in the hallway watch as Bam Bam is starting to leave. She does not say any words to you guys. Would you guys like to say anything to Bam Bam as she is clearly leaving the secret lab?
Have you forgot these? And I hop after her with her weapons.
She just turns back to you and says, Bex, it's truly been a pleasure, as it always is. And she will reach up to the very, very top rung on her antlers and will place a little necklace around you. And then she'll just put one hand on your cheek and she'll just say, till next time. Till next time.
Becky gets a little fluttery. Okay. Rebecca looks at this little necklace. Is there a special design, or is it just like a gold chain?
It's like a very intricate gold leafed plating that has like two diamond studded little leaves coming out of it.
Thank you. I guess till the next job.
Yeah. Until next time.
Yeah. Don't go with freelance. Stay within the organization.
Oh, come on. Freelancing sucks. Let's be honest. I ain't making
That's
money
how
off
I
that
got-
shit.
That's how I got involved in this. I was just supposed to deliver some blueprints. I ended up laying siege to an entire town. It's
I-
fun.
Didn't expect to be roped up in all of this either, but I think that may be just part of the job, as it were.
Yeah.
It's been
Well,
fun.
hey, I mean, as long as you got what you needed. And she gives her stuff back and just rubs her hand along the two leaves and the necklace and just gives her a little wave.
She takes her sling and her dagger back and makes sure to keep her hand there for an extra second as she pulls it from you. And then she will begin to turn around. Does anybody else have anything to say to Bam Bam before she exits?
Cal at this point is just she's still reading through the bag and doesn't even look up or make eye contact or anything. She just kind of can hear the footsteps descending away and just goes, "I was abrupt."
She
nothing
just
else, nothing else. Just I was abrupt. That's the closest that she's gonna get to an apology.
She just
That's
turns.
it.
She just turns back to you and goes, "Yep," and then takes a few more steps outside of the room and just fully exits. And so Bam Bam is now exited here. But the rest of you are still hanging here in the secret lab. Z is still with you. You guys can just look up into the night sky. It's beginning to become dusk here. The stars are filling the sky. And if you were to look out onto Windgap Refuge, you would see a happy town with the Silk Handkerchiefs having taken their space. You would see Guy re-engaging with Ursa, giving her a big hug in her tower, and looking up into his telescope and seeing the stars. And that is where we'll end tonight's session.